Introducing the iBox squad. We bring the hype and we bring the pain. Throw that 1-2 hook, 1-1-2-1-2, and we set it up with feints. If we get knocked down, then we get back up and more something like Ukraine. We do this something like Usyk. We're separating the real from the fake.
Welcome, fight fans. Today, I'm here with iBox and we have a very, very special guest. I'm Sandra the Tartan Witch Reese, and we are here with Jessica Borga, the Black Widow, BKFC's female featherweight champion of the world. Welcome.
Oh, that's so nice to hear. It's still taking some time to get used to, but man, I love it. It's gonna stay there for as long as I want it to stay there.
How does it feel? Does it just feel surreal, Jessica?
It does. I mean, honestly, it didn't happen very long ago, like a week ago. So it still is. I just got back to, my home, the US, and it's taken some time to get back and acclimated and everything, and just to accomplish all your dreams and hit history records in 26 seconds. It's like a dream come true, literally. And so, like, all the hard work, all the tears, all the blood, sweat, like that. Well, like they say, that goes into this sport. Anyone who knows combat sports, no matter what you do, especially being a female in a male dominating combat world, it's just everything. It makes it worth it. Missing your kids' games, missing the practices, and missing like the things that you don't want to miss, the sacrifices that you have to make in order to make and achieve the goals. It makes it all worth it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. People don't see that side of things. Like you said, so you're a mother, you're a wife before all of these other things. And like you said, it's a lot of sacrifice.
It is. I mean, because, when you're a good parent, you always are beating yourself up about not doing enough. And so, we have 3 kids. So, it's trying to balance it all out and everything and make sure that you're there for as much as you can be, and for them to just know that, the sacrifices are going to be worth it. And they are, just hard work pays off, and it will. And I'm here to teach them that.
And the sacrifices that you're making are actually, they're for them. They're for your children. Yes.
Yep. That's to build their future. My future is building for them, their future, and for them to be sound and set for life. That's my entire goal. That's my entire plan.
And imagine going to school or, when, like, being out and about and being like, my mum's actually the BKFC featherweight female champion.
Yeah, my stepson, he's like, yeah, they don't believe me. And then like, that's not my stepmom.
Yeah, no, 100%. I get it. So you were away at Dubai there. You just got back the night before last. You were taking on and being Hannah Rankin at Dubai on the 5th of April, and it was a first round knockout.
I cut my time in half again. I tend to do that every fight so far, but I just, I'm in the gym. I'm working to get better every time, and I did think that she was going to be a tougher opponent. I mean, she went the distance with Clarissa Shields. Anyone who knows boxing knows that she's like the go-in women for, for boxing. And she went the distance with Clarissa Shields, which shows heart, which shows resistance, and like, her heart. She has heart. She was tough. Yeah. But I know that I'm different with bare knuckle. Like I'm going to keep proving it, but there's just something different, and I am built for this. This is not boxing. This is different than boxing. It takes a certain kind of person, and I am the person for bare knuckle. I mean, I'm going to keep proving it, but it is what it is.
100%. Did it feel different being out of your home country and fighting? Because obviously climate's different, environment's different.
Yeah, and this is the furthest I've traveled to fight, even in my MMA career. I traveled to London, I think was the furthest for my co-main event in Bellator. But I honestly, there's something about bare knuckle with me that was the calmest I've ever been for any fight I've ever had. And it was the biggest fight of my career. Like, so the confidence I have in myself, and the difference that I know that I am from any other female. I don't care where they're coming from. They're coming to bare knuckle. That's my home. This is my home. This is my belt. This is where I'm going to stay. So I am fully confident in that. I don't see anyone beat me.
And you're the first ever 145 BKFC female champion, yeah?
And I'm going to do it last until I decide to retire. It's going to be on my terms.
I love that. I love that.
I'm very honored, though, to be the first ever 145 world champ for BKFC.
Making history for women as well.
Yeah, in 26 seconds, I'm the first champ from my hometown, Lakeland, Florida, for boxing, and that's a huge thing. It's a little kind of rinky-dink Polk County. If you know, you know. That's just amazing. I was the first ever for female in BKFC history, and actually any other bare knuckle promotion to ever get a knockout for female, like clean knockout. And I got the first ever for female knockout of the night. Bonus. So like I was making history. It's just crazy. I was like, another first. I'm like, it just doesn't seem real. But at the same time, I put in the work, so it is real, and it's amazing. You put in the work, and you will get the results.
So you've had MMA background, you've got an MMA background, pro background, and so you've travelled a bit, obviously, around through Europe and things with that then.
Yeah, I got very lucky actually in my amateur too. My coach made sure that I was very well prepared for pro, and we've traveled a lot all over, even in AMI. So, even with not getting paid, they would take care of the trips. So that was a huge thing, that doesn't happen often. So I was very fortunate to do that because it got me ready for pro, and I've traveled a lot with pro. I was in the top, 145 division, the top 10 for the featherweight in the world for Bellator. So I went against tough opponents, all of them were like 6 foot, like, yeah, I feel something different with bare knuckle. I got out of my contract with Bellator. I had 1 fight left on my contract, and I got out of it to do my first bare knuckle, and I just knew right from then. I was like, oh man, you got to follow your heart. And when you find what's you and what like just describes you and where you're meant to be, you got to stay there,
Yeah, I 100% agree. And looking at your record, you've had 3 fights for BKFC. You've won each fight in the first round, with the first 2 being TKO. And you've, like you said, you've cut that distance in time from your first fight to the second, and then now to this third. So it's going to be incredible to watch what you do next also. Now, have you an idea of who's next? Who's coming next? Do you have anyone?
Guaranteeing, because the division's not very large yet. It's just like UFC. When MMA started with females, it took a while. It took about 6 years or so to really get women to start coming in. Now it's, there's a lot of them. But it's just going to take some time for it to build. But now that there's a belt, I think there's going to be definitely more women that come to the division and to BKFC. But I do think, I'm going to probably have to fight some big names, which I am completely okay with. I will literally fight anyone. Cyborg, Clarissa Shields, Amanda Nunes. If I would love to fight some big name like that, because there's a difference in bare knuckle, and I'd like to show them the difference.
So, is that kind of something that you'd like the boxers to come over and have like a little taste, dip their toe into the bare knuckle, because can you transition those skills from, like you said, being so used to being and having that guard of your gloves to then it's bare knuckle, it's completely different.
Yeah, there are people that can transition, and it takes some time for them to transition. But the ones that you have to be careful of are the ones that feel right at home even before they do their first bare knuckle. And I knew that I was meant for it even before I did it. I wasn't worried about hitting with bare knuckle. I grew up hitting with my fists, grown men. So I was I was born in violence. I was born in chaos, and I am comfortable there. That's where that's why I thrive, especially in this violent sport. Like, it's violent. You got to have a certain past that brings out a certain side of you. And I feel like there's
Yeah, I agree. You've got to have a bit of something in your blood, something that makes you unique, something that's different.
Yeah, you got to be a little crazy. You got to be a little crazy. And I have learned to, I guess, work side by side with my demons. And we're a team now, and that's freaking dangerous. I've learned to adapt and overcome and heal and be able to use all my past as a weapon, pretty much. So
yes, as a way of like that experience, like taking that pain, taking that anguish, and
make it
turning it.
into something good.
And I totally connect with you on that because I'm very similar. I've had quite a rough upbringing. I was brought up in a lot of violence. I've actually been and done a bare knuckle myself on a much smaller show though, not the BKFC.
Well, that's awesome that you have though, especially with a past like that.
Thank you. And for like you really, I really connected when you said like, it's just where you felt natural. You'd been through so many life experiences that actually standing in that ring, when people say to you, well, how do you have the guts, the balls to get in there? Because you've faced much worse. That's the least that you've faced in your life.
And they have no idea, like you said, people don't know that behind the scenes, what made us who we are.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful, honestly, for the upbringing and the stuff that I've been through that causes me to be who I am, because it made me an absolute savage. And
Yeah.
there's nothing in this world that I can't get through. There's nothing that has been what I've got through already. You know, like there's nothing, and my mindset's completely different now, and that's why I'm at the top of my game right now, and I'm going to stay there because
I love that.
I just feel myself evolving more and more every day.
And do you have a special, like, is there any different special preparations that you do that's different, you know, from your MA? Because you've got that MMA pedigree background. Is it different for the bare knuckle? Do you prepare differently?
Yeah, definitely the training and stuff like that. But mental wise, I have changed so much from my MMA career. It's a world of difference, honestly. And I think that even my fighting has shown that. But the mind is been my biggest mental battle. That's biggest battle in general, honestly. But the mental battle has been the most. It's me against me. There's no one that I step in that ring with that I'm ever intimidated by. It's me against me. That's the only one that's ever going to beat me is me. And I've learned to, man, just like I said, work well with my demons now instead of fighting myself. And it's been a freaking game changer.
So are you spiritual? Are you religious? Or like, are you a spiritual person due to that?
So yeah, it's honestly, this is fairly new too. In the last, I'm talking like couple years. I am very spiritual. I've always, even when I was a kid, I was brought up being a Jehovah's Witness, so religion has a very bad taste in my mouth.
Okay.
Yeah, that to me, I feel like a lot of people use religion to make themselves seem like they're a better person, and there's been a
Yeah.
lot of hypocrites. I said, I don't think that you need to say that you're with a religion or go to church to prove that you're a good person. If you're a good person, you're a good person, and it will show.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I completely
yeah.
agree. I think if you look at, just because you find someone that maybe goes to church every Sunday and then someone that doesn't, that doesn't necessarily mean that the person that goes to church is going to have better intentions at all. So I'm in agreement.
And then my experience is actually me. It has taught me the other way around. Not to say that everyone that goes to church is bad, but
No.
in my personal experience, the ones that did and the ones that preached and all, you know, like just say they lived life was the biggest hypocrites of them all. And I'm sorry, but like I'm not gonna claim to be religious just so that people like me. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm spiritual. I'm all about energy and using energy to empower yourself. Like that's more meditation. And my mind coach Charlie Ray, he's amazing. He has literally taught me to rewire my brain from past traumas and everything, and made me the savage even more today than I was the day before yesterday. You know, like it's crazy. It's
100%. I'm in complete
you don't know
agreement.
until you do it, believe it.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I think religion, it is good. I mean, it gives something people a purpose, something, faith, but at the same time, the constraints of it and this, you must live this way or be this kind of way, or if you do this, then you're not a holy person. And like you said, I don't think you need a book to tell you what's right from wrong or to know from right from wrong. You see, I'm a tarot card reader and I'm an astrologist as well.
Okay.
So I can get a bit of stick sometimes from people from the religious backgrounds, which I accept. I'm a God-fearing woman myself. I do believe in God, but at the same time, I don't expect other people to abide by the way I abide by my life.
Yeah. And if you know about like Jehovah's Witnesses, they're very, my mom, nothing against her. I'll always love my mom. She's my mom. In her eyes, she's doing what was right for her God, and it is what it is. But like, honestly, like I could never, in that religion specifically, you don't celebrate, birthdays. You don't like, there's not a day that I could ever, like, not a year that I could not celebrate the birth of my child. Like I could not, I just couldn't do it. They also, like, if I was to need a blood transfusion, she would have to let me die because of the religion. Like,
Yes,
and
that's
I
right.
feel like that's just insane to me. That's insane to me. Like, my kid is way more important. It is what it is. People have
Yeah.
their own beliefs. That religion in specific, I just don't agree with a lot of the things that they believe in.
What you said though as well, you have firsthand of kind of growing up in that environment as well. Now, your spirituality, does that help you in your camps, Jessica? Is it something, do you visualize, do you manifest? Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, this is fairly new for me, but since I've been with BKFC, really honestly, I started doing this. But it's a game changer when you start rewiring your brain and manifesting and putting out the positive instead of the negative. Being confident in yourself, being confident in your team, being confident in your ability to, like I said, get through anything. It really is. Your mental is so important, and I let that go for so long in my MMA career and in my life because I was so caught up in the fight or flight mode for so long, and I wasn't healing. And finally, when I started healing, is when everything changed, and that was because of my husband. Honestly, my husband is the first person that treated me good in my entire life, and he allowed me to heal
grow.
and
Yeah.
grow. Yep.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's so beautiful as well. And I love how honest you are as well. Because I do believe the best people come sometimes from the toughest shit. Like the lotus flower, I don't know if you're aware of the concept of the lotus flower. It will not grow in a clean pond. It needs a dirty pond to grow. It needs that environment in order to become that beautiful flower. So that kind of reminds me of the lotus flower.
I love that. Yeah, I love that because it really does. Your past there's two types of people in this world, and it's the one that let their past hold them down as an anchor and an excuse, or the people that use it as fuel. And I have always been and always will be the fuel. Like, that has made me go for everything that I ever dreamed possible. And now, I've achieved every dream, and now I'm just getting new goals, like the sky's the limit. This is one life to live, and I'm going to achieve everything I set out to achieve.
And obviously it worked because you are the BKFC Women's Featherweight Champion.
And it couldn't happen in better form. I mean, it's surreal.
How do you, on a fight day, Jessica, what's your day routine? How do you relax before your fight, or how do you keep focused?
Man, it's hard. I am, if anyone that knows me knows that I have an excessive amount of energy on a regular basis. So for me to try to calm down for the week leading up to the fight is not easy. But like I said, meditation and my breathing and the people I have in my corner now, like my shift combat team, my coaches, the one that are talking to me, my mind coach, my family who has been able, they help me more than I can explain. My sponsors, even my MMA team, still, they do so much to help. And it's just everyone I have in my corner. My strength and conditioning coach went all the way to Dubai. I mean, it's such a tight team, family, and I'm just extremely lucky. Yeah, I'm extremely lucky.
I agree. We just came back there from an event last weekend. It's the WBKB. It's like a small bare knuckle event. Well, I say small. It's getting really big now. And the family there, like Kev and Kelly and Gilly, and just when we all work together, it just feels, and even the fighters and the vibe, everybody has got so much respect and
it
love.
makes a difference.
And it really does make a difference when you have that support there, those people that you know have the right intentions that are taking care of you.
Yes, ma'am. It makes a huge difference. It really does.
So what about after a fight? How do you come down? Because you said you're very energetic. How do you come down from that after your fight?
I just let it happen. Honestly, because once it hits you and that adrenaline dump hits, like you're like, all right.
Yeah.
But I didn't actually get to let that happen this time because we were just go, go, go. So
Okay.
I think it's hit me more now than it did just, getting back, and I didn't sleep at all on the way back. And yeah, I'll get there. It's a few days. I'll be all right.
And you'll be back to normal. So you're the 145 queen. In the future, do you think of going up? Do you think of going down?
Nope, I'm 100% 145 is, I played around with different divisions in MMA, and I took losses because of weight cuts. I'm not doing it anymore. I won't cut more than 20 pounds for a weight cut. That's ridiculous and stupid, in my opinion, especially for boxing. I'm not a weight bully. I stay between 15 and 20 pounds away from what I cut to, and I am dominating as hell. I'll say that instead of the but at this weight class, and I've never felt better. I've only ever lost to top contenders, even in MMA, in the 145 division by decision. So I just
Who's been your toughest opponent, like your fight, even in like bare knuckle and MMA?
My toughest one. Man.
Oh, that's a good question, isn't it?
Leah McCourt was my last MMA fight, and and honestly, if I hadn't just come off of 2 surgeries and in the hospital for 2 weeks and almost died in the hospital, like I literally had just been cleared when I got that fight. So I've done some stupid stuff in my career, like I want to fight, who cares, but I wasn't 100%. But she really went on to keep winning. She went all the way up to the title. Like, she was a tough opponent. I would have loved to get that fight back. I would say she's the toughest and most skilled out of everyone.
So she may be someone, if she came over to BKFC, you maybe see she come over.
Happily welcome her. Absolutely. Without a doubt. There's not anyone that wants to come to bare knuckle in the 145 division that I won't happily welcome with open arms. Or open fists.
Do you have a favorite fighter? Like, because obviously you're in it. Do you have like a favorite personality or?
It's so funny because I did not grow up watching it. I grew up on the streets fighting. So I stupidly was, like I said, I was raised around violence. I created my own sport, my own world. But I didn't really grow up watching it. So I actually had to learn when I started MMA who this was, who that was. I do think the highest MMA IQ out there is Shevchenko. I think she is a great skilled opponent. Her fight IQ is out of this world. Boxing wise, I'm the best in bare knuckle. When it comes to, like, I would love to fight Clarissa Shields in bare knuckle. I would love to fight her, and I don't know if she can cut down to 145 because she's bigger. But I would actually even probably be willing to go up a little bit, but it all depends how that would work out. Yeah, I'm not really too worried about bigger girls. The girl that I just fought was actually a 155er, and I knocked her out in 26 seconds. So and she's a 2-time world champion boxer. So
that would be insane. Imagine Clarissa Shields coming over and you guys going toe to toe in the BKFC. And like you said, I don't think, like, there will be boxers that can come over that can transition, but I don't think all boxers can do that. I think like some boxers will get a shock. It will be a major shock to the system because it's different.
It is. And with me, I got very, very lucky. And not to say that my technique isn't hand in hand with this, but I got very lucky with a very powerful punch. I hit harder than 90% of guys in my weight class. So I got the power that I need behind it. When they feel me, they're going to forget boxing. I promise, like I showed in my last one, like I keep on saying it. And I know a lot of people say, oh, I got power. It's like a secret freaking weapon. It's like almost like a superhero. Like I'm telling you, like I lay guys out. Like
when I was doing my research about you, it did say that you are one of the biggest hitting females out there in
and I don't
the
think
bare
people knew
knuckle.
that, because in MMA I really didn't show it because I'm a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so I usually would just take them down and ground and pound or submit them. And at the beginning of my career, like AMI-wise, I was knocking them out in the first round. All my wins are in the first round, even as pro. Like, so everyone knew I was aggressive, I was powerful, I was,
yeah, you're a good
get out
striker.
of the first round. Yeah, get out of the first round. You think you can survive, even though I've went all rounds before and still beat people by decision. So that doesn't really matter. But that's if some kind of injury or something like that. Like I said, like if I wasn't myself, yeah, you might get out of the first round.
Yeah.
But
if you're not
in
feeling it that
145,
day,
I've always been myself.
if you're not feeling it that day, you might get lucky.
Yeah, you might get lucky.
I
mean, like I said, it's me against me. If it's me against me. It's not you. I'll beat any female out there mentally.
And I love it as well with the bare knuckle and the fact that the females are up and coming now, because it's been a big thing for the men. It's been dominating over the last 7 years. The men have been dominating, but
finally
now the women are coming. I can see it now. It is blowing up. It's huge right now.
It is. It really is at the peak right now. I feel like it's just skyrocketing.
It really, really is. And especially in the UK, it's been around, it's been well known for the last, like you said, decade, 7 years, but particularly in the last year or two, it's really, really blowing up. Like, it's getting massive.
I love it because I'm hoping that brings more girls in so I can fight more often. So.
You're like, I hope it brings more girls in so then I can punch more girls in the face.
Yeah, I would love to be able to also knock Misfit into the ground. Me and her have had some going back and forth or whatever, but if she ever would fight me she wants 135, I'm a 45. I offered in the middle at 140. She can take it or leave it. She called me out. I'm offering 5 pounds. Yeah, I was like, I offered 5 pounds later just for she wants to call herself the queen of violence. I feel like I'm more violent. Let's put it onto her test. Let's see. She wanted to fight Cyborg, so she's obviously not afraid of 145,
Okay, so for you, you're 145. Is she 125?
She's 125, but she's going up to 135. So apparently she wants to be at 35 now. So, that's fine. But I'm not going to cut to 35 when you're calling me out. You can come either play with the big girls or take the catch weight in the middle like I offered. I offered 5 pounds lower, so I thought that was pretty freaking nice of me. 5 pounds ain't gonna save her.
So you would fight her, but you would have to meet in the middle of the weight
she
class.
Knows, and she's like, no, she's saying no as of now, but I don't see how the 5 pounds is really a big deal. If you think you're better than me, let's go.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like you said, with your weights, that's the only thing that's crap, isn't it? If you do want to fight one another, because you're high and she's low, and it's that chance.
And I completely understand if she says no. Then shut your mouth and let it be at that. Like, don't keep talking and calling me out if you're not going to take the catch weight. Just
so was
it admit that you're scared.
Was it her that called you out? Because sorry, I thought it was yourself. I only seen right.
No, she did on her last. Was it her last fight? Her last fight. She said, if Jessica Borga's fat ass wants to cut down to 135, I'm like, well, I'm not fat, but it is what it is. She wants me at 35. I don't know if she thinks that's going to save her. I don't know.
So she doesn't give you fear, though. There is no fear there for the Misfit.
I have absolutely no fear. I have 100% confidence that I will make her retire.
Now, is there anyone else bar Clarissa Shields and the Misfit that's you can
I would love Cyborg eventually. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if she's willing to come to Bare Knuckle. I know they've talked about it a little bit, and I don't know if she's under contract with anyone, but I'd be honored. And they're veterans in the sport, I have nothing but respect for anyone who has done as all the acclimates that they have in this sport and what they've done to grow the sport. I respect anyone who steps foot in that ring or cage, but I want to fight them. That's how you make your name, is you fight a veteran and you beat them. That's what makes you a champion. And that's what makes you go down in history books,
So you're here, what you're saying is you're not here to play, you're here to take over. You're keeping the 145 division. There's nobody coming for that belt. You are keeping that belt, and kind of basically good luck to anybody that wants to try. They're going to come and have to tear it off you, basically.
Yep.
Would you come over to the UK? Would you go anywhere to fight, like Spain, you know, because they're doing Dubai cards, they're doing the Spanish cards?
Yep, I told him I
Yeah.
would travel anywhere. I am ready to go at any point in time. Last minute, call me. Like, I'm ready to go.
How
I
long?
live for this sport. People don't understand. Like, I train every day. I train multiple times a day. I live for this, and if they underestimate my work ethic, they can ask any of my coaches. I aim to be the best every day in training, to be the best out there. So, like, I'm ready
You're
anytime they need
ready.
me.
Okay. And last but not least, for you going forward, you're saying that you want to stay at the 145 division. Now, if you weren't a fighter and you didn't fight, what else would you do outside of the fighting? Like, is there any other hobbies that you have?
Yeah, I own multiple businesses of my own. I am a jack of many trades. I
Okay.
stay busy religiously. Like, I do my own social media. My husband and my husband's actually a principal at a middle school full time, but other than that, we have a business together, and I do real estate as well as pressure washing and handyman services and home and office cleaning. So we stay busy. We stay consistently just go, go, go 24/7, even when we're on vacation or if I'm leaving for a fight or something, I'm still working. Like I said, on my social media posts, I do all my content. I do my creating. I do it all. So I'm constantly working, but I handle and juggle it well. I'm very good at
Yeah.
multitasking.
Yeah. You've got, like you said, because you've got that energy, you're finding ways to burn that, to keep
Yep.
not active, like fighting active in between fights, but active for your mind, to keep your mind stimulated so that then you are keeping focused. Yeah, I just want to say a huge, huge thank you for coming on, for doing this with me
Thank you.
today. And congratulations for becoming the featherweight women's BKFC world champion.
It's an honor. Thank you so much for having me on too. I really appreciate your time as well. Like I said before we were recording, you guys don't get the credit you deserve for helping us get our name and our story.
Introducing the iBox squad, we bring the hype and we bring the pain. Throw that 1-2, hook 1-1-2-1-2, and we set it up with feints. If we get knocked down, then we get back up, or more something like Ukraine. We do this something like Usyk, we're separating the real from the fake.